Hey, and welcome to episode 1 of my new series on my channel here. It's a series for high ranked players. It's called the GrindCast, and this is episode 1 featuring OneFalseStep, who is the rank 19 hardcore Iron Man. Hello and welcome, my friend.
Hello, Dave. Thanks for having me.
How are you doing today? What's up? What are you working on?
I'm doing well. Woke up an hour ago and on the grind, just doing volcanic mine as usual for me at the moment.
You're from the UK, so it's around dinner time for you over there, or?
Yeah, well, I'll say I
Well,
woke up an hour ago. It's
your breakfast is at 5 p.m.
yeah, it's 5 p.m. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a gamer schedule. Tell me
Well,
tell me a little bit about your plans in game right now. Like what are you working towards? What are you up to?
ever since I maxed, I've just been working on mining really. Um, the long-term goal is somewhere around 180 million mining XP, and then get the rest finished over time with Dale Sandstone. But yeah, that's the goals at the moment.
I've heard you've been doing it at Volcanic Mine.
Yep, it's true.
What's it like being at a that's where you die. You were previously ranked 3 hardcore Iron Man, correct?
Yeah.
And that was a place where you ended up perishing in the past. Is it scary being back?
I feel a lot more comfortable now. I mean, even though I've had a few close calls, the main reason I wanted to do this, like the first thing after I maxed, was just to get the risk, the danger out of the way. But I thought
Redemption.
this would be it, yeah, that as well.
Redemption.
Plus, it's like the most dangerous thing I'm probably going to do on the way to an eventual 200 mil all if I keep following that path.
I love it. You have like DS2 and like the questing and certain things done in the hardcore game mode, right? Like you have all that type of
Yeah,
stuff.
I've got a quest cape. I haven't got the achievement cape, but I've got most of the useful ones done.
Lance and stuff. Although is the lance even that important now with the prayer spell for a hardcore?
It's definitely still good for Slayer. You've got to do blue dragon tasks, steel dragons, maybe
True.
some iron stuff like that. It's
True.
useful, but not as important as it once was now.
I also wanted to know how many was it 40,000 Vorkath? You were the first Iron Man to hit 40,000 Vorkath, correct?
Yeah,
What
that
was
that was
that
like
grunt? What was
the
that like? What was that like?
that was like the magic number once upon a time. It was like the Iron Man meta was just to do 40,000 forecast. But yeah,
You were top
I got into that.
page Iron Man as well, right?
Yeah, I got into that pretty shortly after I died on this account. Like it was one of those things I wanted to do, but was kind of restricted on because of the whole hardcore status.
Right,
But anyway,
right.
I quite enjoyed that. I found it quite chill to grind, and over I think it was just over 2 years. I yeah did
Wow.
40,000, which is like 1,500 hours there or something.
Holy shit. The only other I've only heard of one other player that I knew of that had a large KC like that, but what rank did you peak at as a regular Iron Man? Because like I was saying earlier, you were a top page regular Iron Man at one point too.
Yeah, I think it was 20. I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Oh, you beat your PB rank in, well, huh, you'd have to be, you know what I was trying to say. You got 19, but then I realized that we're hardcores now. You're a hardcore now, not an Iron Man anymore. So
Yeah, it's a whole
you'd
different
have
league
to
in
be
that.
rank 3. What rank were you when you died?
Rank four.
Okay.
I think I was rank three for a short while before Alkin maxed. Because even though even though Alkin had like higher EHP, higher XP, he'd done like a load of post max Slayer, so he was quite far ahead in terms of XP and whatnot. But yeah, I was ranked three for a short while until he hit me to.
Did you set out for top page, or did you sort of just did it just happen according to your routine with the game? And do you work? What do you do for work? If I can ask that, do you have a full time job?
When I got into it, I was feeling quite competitive with it. At the time, I was working a 40-hour a week job as a poker dealer at a local casino,
Poker
and
dealer.
yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
sometime after, like kind of shortly after starting, or after Hardcore Iron Man mode came out, I actually left that job and went freelance. So as I started, I didn't have as much work or as many contacts. So it was kind of quiet to start with, and it gave me a lot of time, a lot of free time to play. So
Did you get to play while you worked at that point? Like doing your
no,
own?
it's like yeah, it's just not possible to do that job and also
Oh
play at the
no,
same
at
time.
the
So maybe
casino.
sometimes you can do a
Yeah.
Nightmare Zone, but that's it, if anything.
Yeah, they're gonna be the box man will be sitting there watching you on your phone. What is he doing on his phone? Yeah, I guess that would be the time where you couldn't do Nightmare Zone. Do you have like a routine when you wake up? Do you go to zone or do you do like day alt or like what do you do when you're sort of around the house, sort of around the flat apartment, whatever you guys UK
Uh,
the UK
Usually
terms.
whenever I roll out of bed, I'll do the first hour of these of the day, and then probably go and make breakfast and mind out why I do that. It's kind of like the first thing. Whenever I'm not like at the computer around the house, I'll try and be minding Dale or something, just stacking that up. So if I'm cooking, I'll have it on my phone or
Cool.
anything
Cool.
like that.
I was gonna ask this too. What year did you actually start playing RuneScape? When, like, did you play the old game, the version of the old game when it was
Yeah,
back
I
in its
found
glory?
RuneScape in 2005 and played it pretty much religiously until pretty much until Evolution of Combat, I suppose. And then it was kind of on and off for me then. Like I came back for the launch of Old School, played that for a while, like a few months, and then kind of got bored of it, gave up.
Were you
Played Iron Man a
max? Did you have
little.
like completion content done? Were you a
No, I was only playing for a few months. So I only made it to like 1500 total level or something, and wasn't like serious about the game at that point.
I
Just
meant
like played for a bit of
like
fun.
your account at the time that you played religiously was it max? Did you ever max or did it only at you said 1500 total?
Yeah, 1500 total, and then I've only used that like a bit since for like alt stuff.
So we were
So it's only
noobs.
like
We were both
1600
noobs
now.
on there. We're both noobs on that game. do you?
Oh, are you talking about RuneScape 3 or are you talking
Yeah,
about old
yeah. I'm
school?
asking about your RS3 account. I
Oh,
wondered what
RuneScape 3. I was very close to max
the
actually. I think I
previous
looked.
your original because I know you. I heard a rumor that you play one now, and I don't know if that was true or not. But I wondered what did you max back then on the old game?
No, I was like I looked recently and I was like on one of those tracking sites and it said I was like 50 hours away from the max or something. But
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
even though I was so close, yeah, I kind of went back to it after Evolution of Combat
Yeah.
in
What are
like
you doing on there
2015
now?
for a few months.
What are you doing on there now on your account?
So about a year and a half ago, I started like around the time when Sick Nerd and Ari Slash they started up RuneScape 3 hardcores. So I jumped on the hype train and started it myself. I played it for about half a year and got to I think it was around 2600 total, and then kind of stopped playing it for a while.
What does the total level go up to on there? I really
Just
don't know.
just short of 2900 now with like
Holy.
however many skills they have plus level 120s in some of them. So yeah, I kind of stopped playing like last September. I started doing Hydra on my old school hardcore. So I kind of dropped the RuneScape 3 one just because I didn't want to focus on both at the same time. Obviously, I don't want to end up getting myself killed. But then a few months ago, around July, I picked that back up again because when you're doing volcanic mine, even though you've got to pay attention to it, it's kind of pretty AFK. So it's good to have something else to do on the side. So I picked that back up and I've been playing it since.
Now, what do you do on there? Is it like more of an AFK out? Like, do you sort of just AFK what you're doing, or like what's it all about on there nowadays?
Yeah, pretty much everything is AFK. If you do the skilling if you have the skilling mindset and not the bossing mindset, then it's mostly AFK for skilling. So um, I did 200 mil archaeology. That took I guess
That's one of the
somewhere
new
around
skills.
300
How many
hours.
new
Yeah.
skills? Oh, and just an interjection for everyone listening. This is a completely, as you could tell, an unscripted, unprompted, tongue twister at times interview sort of video, just so people know this is raw, unprompted, unfiltered debauchery, and that's all I could say. Anyway, back to what you were saying.
Yeah. So archaeology was the last one. I think it came out 2 years ago. There's another one they're planning to release next year. But I think that was a really good, really well designed skill, archaeology, because it's like a mix of gathering and producing. But you've got, if you're a main, there's also bottlenecks in that you have to do some of the gathering. You can't just like do all the producing to train the skill. And then there's like a load of little side quests and things you can do inside the skill. So it's really well designed. I think be good to see what they've got cooked up for the next one.
How many new skills have they put on there since like I quit in the dungeoneering days. That was it for me. That was it for me. But how many skills have been put out since dungeoneering?
I'm not sure. Off the top of my head, I think it's 28 skills now.
So
I'm
five.
not
They added
sure though.
five down. I believe it was 23, 23, 24. Yeah, so they added
If the
four
max
since
is
I
2900,
four
then it
since
must
I.
be something around there.
Ah, that's pretty cool. What brought you? Were you always sort of an efficient-minded player when you played old school? Did you sort of have the mentality when you came to old school of being efficient, or was it something you kind of came into?
Um, for me, I think it started when I started hardcore. So as I said, I played a main on old school when it released for a few months, and then around the time of Iron Man came out, I played an Iron Man, but not for very long
That's
at
the one
all.
you meant that you got 1500 total on the main.
The main,
Okay.
yeah, the Iron Man was like nothing. I think I played it for a week or two or something and ditched
Yeah, I
it.
want to get into that first hardcore because we're talking top five here.
Yeah, so when I started that hardcore at the launch of Hardcore Iron Man Game Mode when it came out in November of
You were
2016.
a startup at the beginning.
Yeah, I
Nice.
was I wanted to try and play efficiently and see how far I could get, like and keep up with the rest sort of thing. So I discovered Osiris's guide, and that was really good, really useful.
That's a guide on
That
YouTube,
helped a
by the
lot.
way. So you watched his
It
guide.
was a pay spin guide back in the day that he gradually evolved into different
Oh, really? So
different
I gave him a
iterations as
shout
the
out.
game
So, but
evolved.
does he have one on YouTube too?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. So he
I
had
mean, I
like a
mean, I'm sure
paste
there's
spin
people who've like
guide.
followed it through and made a YouTube
That's
series
what
of
it.
it.
That's what it. Because I've always heard about his guides. I didn't know if they were on YouTube or not. I don't personally use guides, but what was the first couple steps? What was like the first thing that you did when you started out?
I'm pretty sure the first thing in that, as most people will know, is basically just like rushing Winter Toad. I think I just sent 99 straight away. Um, yeah, and then like the early grinds are like thieving and fishing.
What was the HP for Max back then?
Um,
It had to be a lot different than these days.
I think it was just under 3,000, possibly.
What
Yeah,
did
these
you
days it's
hit on
something
that
like
account?
2,000.
What EHP did you peak at on that account?
It's a good
Been a
question. I think
while.
it's definitely less than what I'm on now. So I think it was somewhere below 3,000 as a hardcore.
That had to be exciting, like starting at the beginning where there's sort of some friends you had. Who were sort of your competitive buddies at the time? Did you have any at the time that you were sort of, you know, haha,
There's just people I met in the community. Really, there was a really big hardcore clan called Hard Game.
hard game?
Some guys like Beard Squad and Pee-wee were part of that when it started. Devious as well.
Oh,
So that was a
Beard
good way to
Squad's a
meet lots of new
legend.
people. And then yeah, mostly just those guys, and you know,
When
talking
did you
with them,
find
being popular.
Olympus? When did you join? You're in Olympus, correct?
Yeah, so in I believe it was towards the end of 2017. I joined Erudite.
Okay.
I found
I've
out
heard.
about them probably through their podcasts and just following the Iron Man community in general. So I was a member of Erudite until they disbanded,
Oh, they're
and
no
then
longer I didn't know if that clan became another clan or if that clan disbanded. You said they disbanded?
yeah, I
Okay.
think a lot of those members joined Olympus, and I think it's still active as like a French chat or whatever, Erudite, but yeah, it's not quite what it once was.
Do you remember Tyler from way back in the day? The Iron Man
Yeah,
Tyler?
it was one of the games
He
who
was,
motivated me
yeah,
early on,
really.
and
Same.
one of the reasons I joined that clan. It
Same
was really helpful
actually.
to me.
He was actually a big like person I listened to back when I was at Maine, but he was a high ranked Iron Man, but it seemed like he couldn't stay away from that clicker at the Knights. But anyway, that's just had to throw that one in there as a joke. But no, he was a motivating person to me as well back then. Who else were some of your like motivators as a player if you had others?
Well, Lalador was a big Iron Man early on.
Ah, Lalador.
Watching his rambles was good. Same with Fatty, he made rambles.
You said
Uh,
Vati?
yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, Osiris kind of was leading the way for hardcores because he was one of the first to max. Yeah, not the first. I
Flew
think
the
Gael was
flag.
the first. Yeah.
What about
Yeah.
what about how do you find your balance? Do you find it sort of at the beginning? I know at the beginning of anything, but now as you know, how old are you now?
27.
27 years old. Do you find the balance uh struggle like do you find a struggle working full time and playing like you do or do you find a nice balance? Is it sort of something that you've gotten accustomed to?
I wouldn't say I work full time. I just my obviously being freelance, it's like whenever there's work, I'll take it, or like when there's good work, I'll take it, and then if I'm busy, I'm busy. I can't play. But then, but the way that works is like a lot of the time you're just not busy, so it kind of balances itself out in its own way. I've never had like so much work that I've never had any time for rest or anything like that. But I do well enough for myself, so
Have you
it
ever
works
been
out
to
well.
RuneFest?
Yeah, I actually
Yeah?
went to the first ever RuneFest.
Really?
Um,
What year was that?
that was in 2010, and at the time I was only 15, so I think I was like the youngest one there.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, my mum went and my nan went and like a family friend, and they contacted JGEX because they wanted to go as like a family, see if they could make some exception because there was
Wait, so your
like
family
a
wanted to go to
16 plus
RuneFest
thing.
with you?
Yeah,
Do they play RuneScape?
not anymore, but yeah, they used to like when I started playing, I got them into it.
Holy. I can't even get my when I visit my family members, I can't even get my father to learn how to use a smartphone, let alone play RuneScape.
Yeah.
what was that like as a was that motivating for you at the time to did you guys play together in the same room or did you sort of just in your own spaces of the house?
We only had like in the early years, we only had one computer at home, so we
Oh,
did
you just share.
yeah, myself and
Oh
my mother would
man,
take turns or whatever.
I
Um,
remember those days.
and eventually I got my own PC, so I had a bit more freedom and a bit more time to play then.
Did you play any other games throughout your time with RuneScape? Did you play any other games during old school, like your time playing old school? Besides
The
RS3?
last couple of years, I played some Warzone, and while I was playing Warzone, I was just on whichever account I was on. So either
I was gonna ask that next. Were you
Iron or
able
the
to zero
hardcore.
time stuff while you were able to play both games?
Yeah, I was just foot pedaling. I'd log on to the laptop and just foot pedal Gem Nights. So
What
worked
is a
quite well.
foot pedal for those who may not know what that is?
So when I say foot pedal, I guess different people have different ideas of what it is. But to me, it's just having a second keyboard. All I have is second keyboard under the desk. I've remapped the
Okay.
spacebar key to left click, and I'm just tapping away with my foot.
You just sit there with your. You must have a muscle on your toe or something, or on your ankle. I don't know how. Like people, you guys must be drummers or something because I can't really. My leg and foot gets tired after sitting there tapping away. Did you have any discomfort or anything?
Sometimes you would, and then you just switch foot or something. But honestly, half the time you don't even realize you're doing it. It just
Yeah.
becomes like some habit. It doesn't take any like attention or anything.
Were you competitive in other aspects of your life? And did RuneScape sort of encourage that, sort of sharpen that, or were you always sort of like a motivated towards life, motivated towards things type of person?
I would say I'm quite competitive. Yeah, if I put my mind to do a task or something, I want to kind of do it to the best that I can. So I guess RuneScape kind of maybe pushes me towards that, or maybe that's just my general mindset towards everything. I don't know.
Well, I guess it's just it reflects in the progress you make. You know, the having that competitive mindset and applying it to life. How many hours do you sleep a day? What kind of sleep schedule do you have?
I try and get 8 hours if I can. Yeah, 7 or 8 hours is usually enough for me.
Do
If
you
I'm working, then
sleep one
sometimes I have to.
sleep or polyphasic? I know a lot of players like myself like polyphasic sleeping.
I just try and sleep, one chunk of 8 hours if I can.
Cool. Cool. Okay.
Sometimes sometimes I don't have the luxury. Like if I'm
So you don't
working,
deprive for gains. You don't sleep deprive for to
no,
game.
no,
Okay.
I wouldn't try and like damage my body to just specifically to grind hard or whatever.
Well, that's
I
good. That's good.
I'll go to the gym as well, so you could call that XP waste.
You go to the gym? Do you? How long have you been working out? Going to the gym?
Um, on and off for about 3 or 4 years now. I say on and off because gym was closed during the whole of the pandemic, and wouldn't don't know if you'd really count that time. But yeah, I
Uh,
try and keep in good shape, try and eat well. I do a lot of cooking at home.
do you like to
I
eat
used,
while you're playing? Do you like to eat at the computer, or do you take it into the
yeah,
room?
I don't have I don't have a dining table or anything, and it's not like a social thing for me and my housemate. Just
You have
eat by
roommates.
ourselves, and
You rent a place with friends, or
I yeah,
because
I moved in
most
with
people
my
think that
flatmate.
top players are these, degenerate, sucking off of their parents, not working, not living. So I was curious to ask that. I'm sorry to
Some of them
interrupt.
are I suppose, but yeah, I flew the nest when I was 18, and I've been living on my own. I say living on my own. I mean, independently
Right,
ever
right.
since.
Would do your roommates play any RuneScape at all?
No, we used to play a bit of Battlefield One together. This was like the time before hardcore started. Um, yeah, we played like Battlefield One for a month or two. That was good fun. Just going into lobbies together. Bit of a Path of Exile as well before that.
A little
But
bit of everything.
yeah, he doesn't play so many games these days. My housemate.
Do you ever find it like redundant when you play? Do you ever get demotivated? Do you ever have times where you're like, I just can't feel it today? Or do you sort of find that threshold between you learn yourself as a player type of thing? Like, do you ever feel demotivated where you just don't feel like playing much, or and what causes it?
Not really. I mean, I used to kind of feel like that. I suppose when like back in the days after EOC when I just log on to
Oh
old
yeah.
school and play some 1500 total account. And I realized, I'm not really getting anywhere. I've not really accomplished much. But like I feel now with like these accounts that I've had that I've made it to the front page. I've got something to show for the time at least that I've put in. I mean, obviously I enjoy playing the game, but it's nice
Do you think
to.
all the rates are fair? Are you happy with all the EHP rates and everything that's I just wanted to give a shout out also too to TempleOSRS.com. They're the official tracking site for old school RuneScape. Things are tracked in hours, not in XP. But Continue with what you're saying.
Yeah, Temple's definitely a good resource. I mean, it's all pretty
Definitely,
accurate, and they update it fairly often.
definitely.
And obviously, it's like a construct we've made, the HP. It's not something that's officially tracked. So I guess it's more there to be a guideline of who's where, not like the definitive thing.
What is are you more of a micro efficient player, or do you consider yourself a completely macro efficient player? Because I've seen and heard how micro you can be. And Mike, by the way, to the word micro efficiency will be used a lot on this series. Micro efficiency is, say you're working on mining at that moment, like you're trying to gain as much mining as possible. Macro efficiency is all like the whole thing together. Like, so are you more consider yourself more of a macro player, like a more of a macro efficient player, or do you sort of micro?
I would say I'm probably better as a macro player because I guess micro players would have better. Well, I probably wouldn't be doing VM right
You'd
if I
be a
was more of a
granite.
micro player. I'd be doing granite. But I think I see myself as a macro player. Like I'll do my best to keep up with hourlies whenever I can, and
Hourlies.
um,
What are the hourlies that you keep up on?
just contracts, birdhouse runs, and herb runs. I mean, I
Oh,
say I
seaweed.
keep. Yeah, seaweed. Yeah.
Cool.
I say I keep up with that, but at the moment, while I'm doing volcanic mine, it's kind of difficult because you've got to work in teams,
Curious to
and
ask,
if you
how
take a
is it with
game
those
out,
teammates there? What is it like?
it's mostly okay, but sometimes you can get new players who aren't picking up things like at all, and then it can be rather frustrating and difficult because no matter how much you try and teach them, it's just like they're not making any progress at all. Like I don't mind the new players who don't know what they're doing, but they're there to learn and
Where do you
they
go to
pick things
find your
up quick.
teams?
I use the Discord. I mean, I don't know enough people
There's a
to
volcanic
privately
mine
run teams.
Discord.
Yeah,
Oh, cool, cool.
yeah.
And it has like you go and you have people like sort of like the old days with the runner Discord. I remember there was a runners Discord, and is it sort of like that where someone's like, "Hey, I'm getting," like, how does that work? Do you have like the sort of the same couple people that you like to go with to VM?
You see a lot of familiar faces. Those are the guys who are going for long term goals like 200 mil or 200 mil
Nice.
all eventually, I guess. And then you have people who, blow in, blow out. Guys that are just going for like 99 and they'll be there for 100 hours or less. So you see a lot of different faces and then a lot of the same faces as well.
Favorite skill?
Slayer?
Slayer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's just so much different to everything else. I mean, you could be training in one place, for a bit, and then all of a sudden you go into a different place, and
It's yeah, nice change of scenery every 15
yeah,
every between 15 and what 30 40 minutes, I guess the longest tasks nowadays. I guess it's so fast.
yeah, they are
What
pretty
does your
quick.
block list
Plus,
look like?
it's a good question. I don't know off the top of my head.
You have all six.
I'll look it up.
Do you have all six blocks? You have
Yeah,
to
I've got the
do.
6 blocks.
Oh, you did the diary, the
Got the
Lumbridge
quest
one.
cape. Yeah.
Because I know you said you didn't have the diary cape, but I was wondering, do you have the six blocks? That's really big. Do you
So
think
the blocks I have are Hellhounds, Calfights, Cave Kraken, Drake, Great Demon, and Worms.
you said Drake's there?
Yeah,
Cool. That's
not a
that
task that
must
I
be
do.
nice. Favorite task?
Necreos, I guess. I mean, it's just like they're amazing for everything. You get melee XP, prayer XP, Herbler XP.
All them
You also
seeds.
get all the cash as well. So
All those
great all around task.
seeds. If you can answer this, I'm just curious. I know a lot of Iron Men like to keep it secret about their stashes of resources, but how many giant seaweed do you have? Like, how many nests? Like, do you have large quantities of
At the moment, I'm sat on 73,000 seaweed. I'm just looking up at my banked XP plugin now, and
the smart number?
I think it's something like 13,000 nests.
73,000 seaweed, giant seaweed.
Yeah, I'm lacking on the sand there. I'll have to go and mine some to catch that at some point.
Gosh.
Still got like another 120,000 or so to go, I think.
I'm sorry about the ding ding ding. My phone just went wild on me there. Can you say what you said again? I'm sorry.
In total, I think I need another 115 to 120,000 seaweed to
Is it
bank all
really
of 200
almost?
mil.
Is it about 200,000 for 200 mil?
Somewhere around there. That's what I've worked out. On top
Jeez.
of on top of all the gems and stuff from gem nights and
Oh yeah,
whatever other
for
small
your.
sources you get crafting XP from.
Do you do bracelets when you slate? Do you use slaughters and expeditiouses?
Uh, yeah, I'll camp slaughters at tasks like Necreals and Dagonoths. I think I use them at.
Okay, not for Abbey demons. Even you don't do it for Abbey demons. You don't
No,
slaughter
I
those.
don't even extend them.
Oh
But
really? Okay.
even though they extended, I'll get enough prayer XP
From the
from that task.
necks.
Yeah, from next and Abyssal Demons, that'll be enough prayer XP.
I wanted to ask, how long do you think it'll take for you to finish mining if you sort of go off of sort of a guesstimate of the next few months?
I looked at it recently. If I was to go off the XP I've got so far since I started, I think I'm about 7 months in at the moment. Then at the current pace, I would finish sometime around July next year. So that's
Hey,
another 9 months away. So it's kind of slow and steady, and that's going to be about 94 million XP. And
summertime.
that's if I don't die, or like if I die, I might even stop doing it, change to do something else. But if I don't perish, then yeah, I'll just full steam ahead, continue with this goal.
Do you have a social life alongside of being a top player? Do you hang out with friends? Do you go out?
Um, of- the way my work works, I suppose most of my people I would consider to be friends kind of I only see them when I'm working like an event with them, like I can working at a poker festival, poker event sort of thing. Uh,
You guys get
I,
together
I,
and have a couple drinks, type of thing.
yeah, that kind of deal.
Cool.
I also, speak to a lot of people, through RuneScape, through Discord, that kind of stuff. I mean, that's also a social
Yeah,
experience.
I wondered. Is it? Do you find it motivating being a part of the clan you're in? Do you find it? Is it something that helps you feel more motivated? I know a lot of players in and out of clans, but for you, is it one of your motivating factors?
I suppose so. It's like similar to the old days where you'd be an erudite and look up to guys like Valador or
Yeah,
that sort
yeah.
of thing. I mean, you're still surrounded by other gamers who are trying to you know
Do you like
grind
to?
game.
What do you like to watch? Do you watch movies when you play? Like, what kind of movies and stuff, or do you listen to music, or a little bit of both?
A mix of everything depends what I'm doing. If I can't pay too much attention to a TV series or stream or something, then I might listen to music. But if I'm doing something in game that requires a bit less attention, then maybe I'll watch a stream or
Find
yeah,
something to watch, right?
yeah.
What kind of
Always.
music do you like?
I like a lot of progressive trance, house, deep house.
Nice,
Um,
nice.
if people have heard of the labels and Juna, then
Oh yeah,
all
Ajuna
that stuff.
Beats,
Yeah,
all the good stuff. Cool.
yeah. They've got a big show on this weekend in America, which will be live streamed.
Oh, they're doing a
In
festival here, or
yeah, on
just a
the
show?
West Coast, and then like every year they have this like radio milestone
Yeah.
show, and it's where they premiere all of their new stuff, all the upcoming material. So
Oh well, that's cool.
excited for that.
Have you ever
Be good
traveled to
listen.
the States for a festival or for a show?
I've never left the States. Sorry, I've never left Europe so far, actually.
Been over the pond your whole life.
Yeah. In January, I'll be coming over, though, for work. I'll be working in the Bahamas for 2 weeks at the end of January. So
Oh, you're gonna what? You're gonna
do my
be
first
in the
5 weeks
Bahamas?
in Europe. Yeah,
Oh my god. I'm gonna have you on the fucking series again just to ask about that one day.
yeah, yeah. That'd be good.
Well, hey, I am pretty much running out of questions here, but is there any sort of thing that you'd like to say to a newer hardcore? Any sort of advice to a newer player that you know as a person that's has a lot of accolades over the years as a old school player? Like, is there anything that you want to say to any newer players?
I suppose the most important thing, if you're serious about it, is always keep a ring of life on and make sure to tether up your internet connection if you're doing dangerous stuff. Because you see so many hardcore accounts that go to waste because they're just not taking the precautions they could have taken to try and preserve their status.
Be safe. Don't burn out
Yeah,
like I did, right? Nah. You we mentioned earlier you just got rank 19 as a hard crime as well. Is there sort of, I'll ask this before we end up here. Is there sort of you're shooting for, are you shooting for any sort of like top 10? Do you think you'll be able to get top 10 again on that account? Do you think?
yeah. I think top 10 is manageable. Like even at the slow rate I'm going at the moment, eventually I would reach that. Um, Top 5 would be nice.
It would be cool to get back
It's
where
a
you
long,
were, right? That would be
yeah.
amazing.
Top 5's doable, but it's a long way away, and I would have to put in a lot of hours, more than I'm doing currently anyway.
Time to quit the
But
job and
yeah, it's
batten
just just
down the
just dependent on
hatches.
how it works, I suppose. I'm not gonna go full neat mode just to chase some Iron
Yeah,
Man rank.
yeah, definitely. Some people go for it. Some people like to have a nice balance, and like it's nice to have a balance like you have. You have more longevity. You have your job, and you have being able to play.
Yeah,
And
it's good to have breaks as well, like natural breaks put in by work as well.
are there times where you will like do you play do you do any zero time stuff while you're at the gym, or is that sort of like a decompression time for you? Just go and work it out and don't bother. Don't really.
If I'm at the gym, I'll just be in my zone.
Nightmare Zone.
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean
cool.
that takes barely any effort or attention at all. Whenever I can, if possible. If I'm not doing anything else, I'll do Nightmare Zone. You only have to go back and click every 20 minutes or so.
So if you
It's
had
almost
to
nothing.
sum up the last few years in one word, playing, like what's the word you would use?
One word. I don't know. It's kind of hard.
Yeah, I throw you a random fucking question right at the end,
I
stump
guess I
you.
guess hardcore sums it up for me, really.
Hardcore. I like it. I like it. Hey, I really was glad to be able to get your. I know you're very busy, but I'm really glad that I got to have you on here. I had a lot of things I wanted to ask you, and I'm glad that I was able to have you on here.
Yeah, this was good. It was fun. Definitely do it again if you wanna go for a second episode
I
sometime.
wanna I wanna have you on here again one day when you do that mining goal. I would love
If
to.
if I ever get to the end of it, yeah.
You better get to the end of it so I can have another video in stock one day. No, I wish you the best with your goals and with your grind, and
Thanks.
I enjoy. I'm a fan of the high ranking players in this game, and this series here is going to be something that I hope it kicks down the wall between people thinking that every high ranked player in every game mode is just some non-contributing member of society, and it's not true. They're not all like me. Well, hey, it was fun having you on here. One false step. I'm gonna put your social links, if you don't mind that. I'm gonna put them in the
Yeah, go
description
ahead.
below. Do you have a YouTube channel? Do you
No,
make
I
it?
don't. I'm not on YouTube. I did stream on Twitch, but haven't sent a stream in 2 years now. So
You
don't
should.
expect to see me on there.
You should. Well, if you don't, you'll hear you on here.
Yeah.
So, hey, I really had a good time talking to you. I'm gonna head off soon. I'm sure you probably have things to go and work on as well, but thanks so much for being on the first episode here.
Thanks, Dave. It's been
Yeah.
good.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna end off the video here. I had a good time. Obviously we have no idea what we're doing. We've never done interview style videos before, and we literally just clicked the record button. But if you enjoyed the video, let me know. Let us know. I know, like I said, things were a bit scuffed, but you kind of get the vibe of what the video is going to be like. It's sort of just a raw hangout and questionnaire and just little insight into. I now know more about him than I did 40 minutes ago, and hopefully you guys do too. So we'll see you on episode 2 of the GrindCast.